RuneScape has lots of items in the game that are absolutely free, but take a little bit of effort to unlock that are incredibly useful. So in this video, we are going to go through a list of those things that are incredibly useful items, but are pretty much free. Now I say pretty much because some of these may require you to pay something like 500 coins or 1,000 coins or something silly like that to be able to reclaim them or actually get them in the first place. So they're not necessarily entirely free, but let's be honest, 1,000 coins really is nothing, and so I'd say we could basically consider these things free. However, they will take some time to unlock on some cases, but if you enjoy this video, if you find it useful, if you want to go and collect all of these, maybe you're a newer player and you haven't got them done so far, then maybe bookmark the video and come back to it at a later time. There will be timestamps as well. Sub to the channel if you are new, and let's go. Okay, so the first couple of items we are going to be talking about is the Gstaff Zstaff, which I've got equipped right now, and the Salve Zstaff that we've got equipped right now. So there is another one, the Salve Zstaff. We are only talking about these two for now, as I actually have no idea what the Salve Zstaff does. These two are the ones that I know are useful though and get use even in the end game. Now, as a low level player, the Gstaff Zstaff and the Salve Zstaff are still incredibly useful for many reasons. As a higher level player, they become even more useful probably, and I use the Gstaff Zstaff when I'm using magic in an essence of finality all of the time. That being said, it is not only useful in an essence of finality, and a low level player can definitely take advantage of one as a switch, or maybe, depending on your level, as an actual main weapon until you get something better. Now, the reason that these are so useful is because they have their own unique special attacks as well. But the Gstaff Zstaff and the Salve Zstaff, the damage that they do with their special attacks is exactly the same, and it can hit pretty damn hard. The reason that these are so good is because they also apply on-hit effects with the special attacks as well. The Gstaff Zstaff will actually increase your hit rate on the target by lowering its defense, and the Salve Zstaff will lower the target's magic level and also decrease its accuracy, increase its miss rate by 5%. So you actually don't get hit as much. So the Salve Zstaff is incredibly useful in places like Karapak in hard mode, as it will lower the Karapak's accuracy on you and you're taking way less damage. And also the Gstaff Zstaff is very useful at places like Telos, for example, where you're not hitting 100% of the time. You can apply the debuff to him and then you'll be hitting him a lot more accurately than if you didn't use this. So it does have uses all the way through to endgame, and even while you're still there, you're still going to be using this. And it basically just becomes another threshold ability for magic at this point, because it does cost 25% adrenaline, but it's something you can just spam over and over again, especially with the new tsunami buff and stuff like that. You're not going to be really running out of adrenaline. Magic lacks a little bit of thresholds and stuff in my opinion, and so using the Gstaff Zstaff as a damaging threshold is definitely something that you're going to want to take advantage of. You can get these from the Mage Arena, which are in the wilderness. You do have to do some tasks to do it, but they don't take too long to get, and like I say, they will have value for you from early game all the way into the end game. This next item is one that I'm sure many of you guys probably have never even heard of, or maybe you've seen it and just didn't realize what it was. This is an item from the loyalty store, the loyalty point store, Solomon store, whatever, and it's called the Wicked Pouch. Now the Wicked Pouch is actually pretty useful. I used to use this a lot before I got my max cape and all that sort of stuff, but the Wicked Pouch is 20,000 loyalty points from the Solomon store. So technically, it does cost you loyalty points, but loyalty points are free as you keep your membership and keep going. And 20,000 isn't really all that many once you've unlocked everything else that you need. What this does is you can charge it with regular runes, so you can get the cheapest runes and add them all into it, and then it will give you a actual charge on here. It'll also give you rune energy available. But what this does is once you equip it, it will give you access to every single rune just from having this one thing equipped. You can charge it with the cheapest runes and put it in there, and then you can have access to every single spell. As you can see, I don't have any other rune pouches with me, but I have access to every combat spell, I have access to every skilling spell, all the spell book swaps and everything like that, and when I swap I have access to all of these as well. These other ones, obviously I need the actual items for it to be available, but all the runes are available, and obviously as you can see, there's quite a lot of use from this. I can get access to this, and I don't have to bring anything else with me. All of the actual runes in the charge comes from this. The other great thing about it is if you right click it, you can swap your spellbook. You can also swap your prayers to curses and then back and stuff as well, and that's all just from this little pouch. It does cost energy to do this, but 20,000 loyalty points again really isn't all that much. After considering I currently have 546,000, I could get quite a lot of these. So if you've never heard of the Wicked Pouch, then take a look on the Solomon store. 20,000 loyalty points, charge one up. It could be useful for you. You can teleport absolutely everywhere because you've got all the runes. You've got all the things available. It could be useful for a skilling preset or something like that because you don't have to bring a rune pouch along, or 3 rune pouches or whatever you need to normally bring. What do you guys think? Have you heard of this before? Let me know in the comments about this one. I am interested in hearing how many people know about the Wicked Pouch. Next up, we are going to be talking about the Enhanced Excalibur, which is the weapon that you can see I have equipped here. It's an offhand weapon that you unlock during the Merlin's Crystal Quest. Once you have it, you're going to also want to complete the Seer task all the way up to Elite to get the enhanced version. Now, the Enhanced Excalibur has an activate option that is going to heal you 4% of your maximum life points 10 times over 40 seconds. So you get a lot of good healing out of this. It is incredibly useful in PvM, Slayer, all sorts of combat. This weapon is freaking hell useful. You'll never really equip it, even though personally I think it looks pretty damn cool. You'll never equip it unless you want to use it as like a bladed dive switch, but we now have the dive ability once you unlock that. But you will keep it in your inventory as a right click and then activate to be able to get the actual perk out of it from the healing. Now, once you've done this, you'll come to the Lady of the Lake and you will right click and you'll press Excalibur and you'll be able to get one. If you already have one, you won't let you get another one, but I'm going to destroy mine to show you that you can just come here, you press Excalibur, you get 2 options, the enhanced version or the original one, and it does cost you 500 GP to reclaim should you lose it or should you need to get one. But for 500 GP, we can basically say this thing is free except for the time that it takes to get it. And like I say, this is something you'll be using always. This is on every single preset that I make for boss or anything like that. And I would even take it Slayer. I would take it. It's just freaking helpful in so many situations. If you need healing, and Enhanced Excalibur is something that you should bring along with you, because as for a right click and then activate option, it's a lot of healing over time. It's very, very useful. I would suggest everybody do grab one of these. The next item that is pretty damn useful and is absolutely free and just has a couple of questionable requirements is the Salve Amulet, or the enchanted version to be more specific. So the Salve Amulet you can actually get for completing the Haunted Mine quest. At the end, you'll be able to mine some actual crystals and you can get yourself the thing that you need for the Salve Amulet, and then you string it and make yourself the actual amulet. The enchanted version, however, you will need to do this after completing the mini quest Lair of Tarn Razorlaw. After defeating him, you can get his Tarn Diary and you can then use that to enchant the amulet. But the enchanted Salve Amulet is actually pretty damn useful, especially for you people that want to do Elite Dungeon 3. Now, Elite Dungeon 3 has Taraket and lots of undead monsters in there. The Salve Amulet is going to give you a massive boost against the actual undead. The enchanted version increases your accuracy and damage for all combat styles against undead monsters by 20%. 20% is absolutely huge. You guys that don't know, a tier 99 curse going from tier 95, which costs you probably around about 700 mil, maybe a little bit more, is not even anywhere near that. I think it's not even 5%. It is huge to get a 20% buff. You definitely want to be taking advantage of this when clearing out those dungeons. 20% is not something to take lightly. Now, this also may be incredibly useful in the future. We don't know yet. Of course, Jagex may release something that is against undead, and you will notice the difference with this. It is crazy how good it is. So definitely grab one of these if you are someone who loves the Elite Dungeons. It'll help you out a lot. And if you do lose it, you can head back down to the mine, get another crystal, restring it, and then re-enchant it, and you're good to go. I just wanted to quickly interrupt and let you guys know, I recently made a Patreon as my ad revenue seems to have taken a bit of a hit in November of last year, and then again in January, when of course the ad rates do go down anyway. Just to keep myself comfortably full-time making content for you guys, I decided Patreon was probably a good way to go about it. So for the people who have already signed up, thank you so much. And if anybody else wants to support the channel while I sort out what the hell's going on with the ad rates, as Google really hasn't helped in any way whatsoever with explaining what is going on, there is a link in the description, and of course it would absolutely help out a ton until I do get this sorted. There'll be some benefits like specific content that you will only get through the Patreon. You'll also get early access to videos like the channel members do as well. Thank you all again, and let's get back to the video. Next up, we are going to be talking about the Dominion Mines. These are super useful in a lot of PvM situations, but when I say free, they cost 1000 GP each. There is a long list of stuff that you need to do to get these, but it's absolutely worth it. So we're going to head to the Dominion Tower using our medallion here, or you can come through the desert and get in the entrance the normal way. And then when you get here, you can actually look, wait, let's not do that. Let's just go to the rewards, please. And then move down the list. You can see kill 400 bosses and fight all special matches to unlock Dominion Mines. And then once you've done this, you can just buy them, and it's 10 for a 10,000 GP, so 1000 GP each, which is pretty much free for what they offer. The amount of time you need to invest in getting these is definitely going to be quite a lot, but you're going to be completing quests anyway through the game, and it's still going to get you a lot of unlocks. And even I have these because they are absolutely worth it. I don't do many quests. As you see, I've got 306 quest points, not that good, but I have these because they are absolutely worth it. Now, you can use these at Solak, you can use these at like Elite Dungeon 1, Elite Dungeon 2. There is some uses as well in ED3, but mostly ED1 and ED2. They're going to not only save you time in fights, but they're going to be convenient to have as well. They don't just make life, like, they might make kills faster, but they make life easier in some situations as well. So I would definitely suggest grabbing these. These do 10,000 damage each on specific monsters, so they are absolutely worth the time that you get from them, in my opinion. And I would suggest that anybody who doesn't have them already does start working towards them, even if it's just a little bit here and there, because eventually you are going to want to have these. Absolutely. The final item that we are going to be talking about is, of course, going to be the Pontifex Shadow Ring. Now, the enriched version specifically is absolutely the best, but the Pontifex Shadow Ring itself offers up so many bonuses for bosses like Karapak. Anything in God Wars Dungeon 3 is, or the God Wars 3 at least, is absolutely worth it. Like this ring, to upgrade it and actually have it fully unlocked is just, whew, you just want it. So you can start fighting these bosses before you do all the quests. There's no quest requirements to come and fight Karapak. There's no quest requirements to go and fight the Outglacior. You can just go fight them straight away. But if you are at the position where you can start working on this ring, you absolutely should, because as you can see, these are the bonuses, right? The bonuses is so big that the list is even cropped at the top. It doesn't even say, it just says provides. You can't even see what it says, but I think it says something like the enriched Pontifex Shadow Ring provides. And you can scroll down, you can see this list is pretty damn big. There's a lot of stuff here. You get better luck, so your drop rate here is better than it would be even if you just brought like a look at the dwarves. Having this in your bank passively increases your drop rate. It is just going to give you the tier 3 chests as well every time you do it. I believe it's every 6 minutes or something like that. And then it makes the fights and the actual bosses also easier as well. For Karapak, for example, his dive attack will no longer stun you. This works from the bank, let me tell you, from the bank. You have to fully upgrade it for that, but bringing it when it's not fully upgraded will still provide that. Fully upgrade this ring as soon as you can if you are planning on farming out some God Wars dungeon bosses. It is just definitely freaking worth it. You need it. You need to do this. It is just absolutely worth it in every single way. Just get it done. This ring is just too important for God Wars Dungeon 3 content in every single way. Well, there you go. 6 absolutely free items. Not absolutely free. That's such a lie. There's definitely some cost in here. Not much though whatsoever. 1,000 gold for each Dominion mine. A little bit of extra money for the actual charges of the anima for the Shadow Ring, but it's not all that much anymore. It's dropped an absolute ton. And then obviously 500 GP for the enhanced Excalibur. So pretty much free stuff, except for the time investments that are absolutely freaking incredibly helpful in RuneScape. For a PVMer, for a skiller in some situations too, with the wicked pouch and stuff. Did you guys know about all of these? I'm sure you knew about most of them, but maybe you're a new player and this list is very helpful, or maybe you just needed a list to help work towards as well. But the wicked pouch, how many of you guys knew about that? How many of you guys have used it in the past? What are your thoughts on it? But otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like. I hope it was very helpful. If it was, then do subscribe to the channel if you are new around here and not subscribed already. Also, there is a link to a Patreon in the description where you can get yourself some unique content from myself. There'll be unlisted videos that you can only get the link for if you are in there, of course. And also support the channel while you do so, as right now I am trying to figure out something that's going on with my ad revenue. Obviously, rates in January are always really low, but it's been bugged out since November. I'm trying to figure it all out. Hopefully it comes back soon. It is what it is. But of course, it does help out a lot. Also, channel members, you guys always have supported the channel, and there's so many of you guys. It is incredibly appreciated. So thank you all so much. Of course, you guys get early access to videos too as well. And I don't know, I just appreciate every single one of you. So thank you all so much. Names will have been on the screen during the outro. But otherwise, I appreciate every single one of you as well. And I will catch you all in the next one. See you later, guys. Bye.